Good evening. Welcome to our Top 25 Awards program. At this time, what I would like to do is ask Mr. Sincere and our Board of Education to offer a few congratulatory words to our top 25 students and their most influential educator.
Good evening and welcome. This is Superintendent Chuck Sincere. Tonight we're honoring the top 25 graduating seniors and their influential educator. It's an extraordinary achievement to be a member of the top 25. Congratulations on this accomplishment. Also, congratulations to these teachers. Education is the key to success, and these teachers have made a lasting impact on the lives of these students. I'd like to thank them for their dedication to these young folks. On behalf of the Board of Education and the Springfield community, congratulations and good luck, class of 2020. Thank you and go Spartans.
Good evening to the top 25. You're the top of the class. Top 25 ranking in your class. Awesome job in attaining that mark. Great job in your studies over the last 4 years. These steps you have taken in the last 4 years of your high school career will help guide you over the course of your working life. Some of the lessons learned as a student will stay with you throughout your life. I am so happy for you and your accomplishments. You should be happy in your attaining this rank you have achieved. Your hard work ethic will help you in the many years of your career. Best of luck. I have always liked listening to your speeches of who inspired you as a student. I look forward to it. Congratulations on your accomplishments. Best of luck to you all. I'll see you soon at graduation.
I am proud to be able to share in this celebration with you, our top 25 students at Springfield High School. This is one of my favorite events every year, and I wish that we could be together to celebrate it in person with you and your families at Hartfield Kitchen, enjoying a fine meal. As a school board member and as a person who greatly appreciates the importance of public education, I want to deeply thank you and commend you for the hard work and for the dedication, for the effort that you have all made throughout your educational careers to date. It is so important to us and to the school and to yourselves, and we thank you. When I think of the traits of what I would consider a model student, I think of things such as intelligence and strength, compassion, kindness, honesty, integrity. Those are traits that are shared by all of you. And I want to thank you for being an exemplary example for our student body and for being a part of it. And I want to thank your parents and your grandparents and all of your family who have worked throughout the years to instill those traits in you. So thank you again, and enjoy this great success.
In a very difficult time in your senior year, I'm sure that you will be okay. Life is full of disappointments, but nothing lasts forever, and you'll go on with your lives just wonderfully, I'm sure. I'm sure that you have a very bright future ahead of you. God bless you, and the very best that life has to offer to all of you. Thank you.
Good evening to the top 25 of the graduating class of 2020. I just want to start out by saying congratulations on this honor. It is truly an honor to be a part of the top 25. It shows nothing but your perseverance and hard work, not only through the first 11 years of school, but definitely this last one. It has not been easy, especially to wrap up your senior year like this. No one would have ever wished for it to go like this. But I just want to say congratulations again and continue on your journey through life. This will do nothing but make you stronger men and women going forward. Good luck and congratulations.
The Top 25 Seniors is one of my favorite activities each year. I'm a retired principal, and one of the regrets that I have is that I was not able to spend enough time with the kids that were doing everything right. I had to take care of problems in the school, and I had to take care of discipline. But the kids who did their work, the kids who excelled, the kids who behaved themselves, those were the kids that I thought it would be great if I could spend more time and give more attention to. So those are the kids that we would love to celebrate and love to recognize. And I'm sorry that we can't be with you tonight, but Top 25 is a huge honor, and it is something that you should be very proud of and something that your families should be very proud of you for. Thank you.
Welcome again to the Top 25 Awards program. Students, it is quite an accomplishment to be recognized for your academic efforts and to have earned the privilege of honoring one of your most influential educators. Parents, I want to acknowledge all of your efforts at raising such wonderful sons and daughters. I know it takes a lot of love, discipline, tears, and money. Educators, what a wonderful statement these students have made by selecting to honor you. This is truly one of my favorite events of the year, and even though I am saddened about us not being able to be together, I am excited to hear about how each educator had made an impact in your life and about your future plans. As always, permit me a moment to thank those who guide our district, Superintendent Mr. Chuck Sincere, and our Board of Education, Mr. Dave Hofer, Miss Mary Lou Dotson, Mr. Larry Petrie, Mr. Chad Lance, and Mr. Neil Hess. I really appreciate your support. I would also like to recognize Miss Michelle Hanna, who coordinates this event. In addition, this year with the awards program being broadcast on YouTube, I would like to thank Andrea Novicki for all her hard work in putting the video production together. Educators, thank you for your commitment to young people, for going beyond what is expected and building relationships. You make a difference. Students, thank you for your efforts in the classroom. You are the reason for this awards program. Parents, well, I need a little help for your thank yous. So here are your thank yous right from the students themselves. I would like to thank my parents for always being there to pick me up when I fall, for always supporting me through everything. I would like to thank my parents for believing in me when I couldn't believe in myself, for trusting me and giving me unconditional love. I would like to thank my parents for always pushing me to be my best and being my #1 supporter, for trying their hardest to understand. I'd like to thank my parents for always motivating me to be the best I could be. Thank you to my parents for helping me become the man I am today. Dad, I want to thank you for teaching me it's always the alternator. And Mom, for knowing that the Black Eyed Peas are breaking up, but still calling it a vacation. I want to thank my parents for always supporting me, for making my lunch every day and supporting me, for always supporting my decisions, for pushing me to go above and beyond. I would like to thank my parents for motivating me to do my best in school and making me the person that I am, for showing me support and pushing me to be the best version of myself. I'd like to thank my parents for pushing me to do my best and for supporting me. Before we get to listen to the student presentations of their most influential educator, I would like to share with you that I read a book. I know what you're thinking. Wow, amazing, Mr. Morgan. You read a book. I did. It was a gift to me this past Christmas. And the book was about leadership, but it was told in a story format. The book's title is Lead For God's Sake by Todd Gongwer, with a foreword by Urban Meyer. The main character in the story was a basketball coach, Coach Rocker, who was a very successful coach but was struggling with a very talented team. And as a former basketball coach, I could relate to the character. Coach Rocker was not taking care of the other important relationships in his life, namely with his wife and his son. He seeks out counsel from a successful businessman neighbor named Grant, whose relationships in his own life are crumbling. At the same time, a humble janitor named Joe reaches out to Coach. Let's just say Coach is reluctant at first, but Joe's influence on Coach grows, and the relationship that Joe builds from his janitorial position makes such an impact on his sphere of influence that the words of this book practically fall off the page and into your heart. Here lies my purpose. First, let me say I'm not receiving any royalty sales from this book, nor do you have to be a coach to have it be of interest. No, the book is about relationships and investing in others with your own life. Here rests my purpose. Top 25 students, right now as this year is ending and you look to an unknown future, career, schooling, or service, you'll be placed in opportunities to build new relationships and maintain old ones. You'll be given a great chance to impact the world around you through building relationships. Try always to remember it's not the accomplishment that matters most, but the people impacted by getting to have a relationship with you. And that is what will go on and on. All of you listening have a sphere of influence, and it is only through relationship building that your impact of your life goes beyond. Teachers, thank you for building relationships. Top 25 students, it is time to carry it on. Go out and build relationships. Thank you.
Antonia has been attending Springfield local schools since second grade. At the time, she didn't speak a lot of English, and she had just moved from Romania in first grade. As the years passed, she learned to adjust and made lifetime friends here in Springfield. In high school, Antonia has participated in volleyball and received recognition for honors such as Renaissance, Honor Roll, and Top 25. Antonia plans after high school to attend The Ohio State University, where she will study chemical engineering. Her skills in problem solving and thinking creatively have influenced her major. She wants to be able to create something of worth. Antonia is looking forward to the college experience and obtaining a degree to pursue her future career. Antonia is recognizing Mrs. Jennifer Ronaldo.
The teacher who has influenced me the most is Mrs. Ronaldo. I was first introduced to Mrs. Ronaldo on my first day of sophomore year in her advanced English class. She deepened my understanding of reading and writing. I learned the most about writing in her class, from formatting an essay the right way to analyzing a text. The strategies I learned in her class I still use to this day. I always looked forward to her class because no matter what my mood was that day, I knew she would somehow make me laugh or bring a smile to my face. Mrs. Ronaldo's classroom is a place where students felt comfortable sharing their thoughts and opinions, something that I feel was rare during my time in school. She helped every student become more engaged in class by having us read aloud and discuss. I remember walking into class and seeing the desks arranged in a circle. This meant that we were about to do a Socratic seminar. This allowed us to focus on the text and answer questions. We would listen closely to what others had to say and form our own thoughts and comments. One of my favorite things about her is her trustworthiness. I could always go to her to seek advice or just to have someone to talk to. She was always willing to listen to any problems I had, even if it was just some teenage drama. I could always joke around with Mrs. Ronaldo. She was very personable and came across as a person who understood you. When it was time to apply to college my senior year, I had to write an essay in order to get accepted. I wasn't really sure how to go about it because I wanted to make sure it was good enough. I went to Mrs. Ronaldo and she gave me her insight on what colleges want to hear and how I can make my essay the best. A few months later, I found out that I got accepted to Ohio State University and I couldn't have been happier. If it wasn't for Mrs. Ronaldo, I would not have been able to do it on my own. I will always be grateful for the relationship I have with Mrs. Ronaldo and the impact she's had on my life.
Antonia, I'm very honored that you have chosen me as an influential teacher in your life. When I first met you 3 years ago, you were very quiet, and it took us some time to get to know one another. But after 3 years, I've gotten to know that you are an excellent student, an excellent writer, and a very fun person to be around. I will always remember the times that you either FaceTimed me or emailed me or texted me for help. Help that you didn't really need, but it made me feel good that you felt comfortable enough with me to reach out to me for support. Thank you again. I'm very honored. Congratulations on your graduation, class of 2020, and good luck in your future.
In high school, Hannah has participated in varsity golf for 1 year. She is a 2-year member of the National Honor Society. Hannah has also been honored with Renaissance recognition for 3 years. She also participated in Junior Class Council. After high school, Hannah will be attending Baldwin-Wallace University. She plans to major in biology. She would like to then move on to medical school to eventually become an orthopedic physician assistant. Hannah has also accepted a position on Baldwin-Wallace's women's soccer team. Hannah is recognizing Mrs. Michelle Hannah.
I had Miss Hannah for advanced chemistry sophomore year of high school. This year was all over the place for me. I spent half of it at Jackson and the other half at Springfield. I remember the first day I walked into her class. Of course I walked in a period too early because of the period and a half schedule Kim had. It took me at least 2 weeks to actually understand the schedule. I was so stressed out when I first joined the class because I was so behind on everything. It felt like I couldn't even find the element hydrogen on the periodic table. Mind you, hydrogen is the very first element on the periodic table, but that's besides the point. The first test Miss Hannah ever gave me, I remember her telling me, "Don't stress, I just want to see where you're at." Of course I stressed about it and studied forever. The day came to take the test and I bombed it. I'm pretty sure I only got like 3 questions right. At first I got very discouraged, feeling like there was no way I could ever catch up. However, Miss Hannah sensed it right away. I was one of those students who hated asking for help, because school typically came easy to me, but chemistry was a whole new monster. She made me feel comfortable asking questions without judgment, which she probably regretted this just a little bit when I was up at her desk 24/7. Miss Hannah taught me so much more than just chemistry. She taught me perseverance, determination, and even success. I remember receiving my first report card and seeing that I had passed the class. The feeling of pride I had knowing all my work had finally paid off was amazing. The person I had to thank for this was Miss Hannah. She always believed in me, never gave up on me or my abilities. Miss Hannah, I'm truly thankful for everything you have done, not only as my teacher, but as my mentor as well. I also thank you for the countless things you've done for me throughout the years. I also attribute my crazy work ethic to you. You were the first teacher who truly challenged me academically and wouldn't accept anything other than my absolute best. Without the encouragement to always put 100% in, I would not be the student I am today. The life lessons and kindness you have not only shown but taught me, I will always keep forever, including my overflowing folder of classwork from sophomore year. Miss Hannah, I would like to thank you again for being an influential part of my life and having a major part in making me who I am today.
First, let me say congratulations to all of the students in the top 25. I have had the privilege of having many of you as freshmen in physical science and then some of you as juniors in chemistry class. You are a dedicated group, you are a fun group, and while I know your high school career is not ending the way you wanted, nor the way you deserved, I am confident that you will all be successful. Hannah B., you came into my advanced chemistry class halfway through the year as a transfer student. It is not easy to come into a class that builds content mid-year. On top of entering my class halfway through the year, You came into a junior senior class as a sophomore. Neither of these are challenges that are easy. You rocked it. You handled yourself with determined, positive attitude. You never looked back and you never had an excuse for me. You are a self-motivated student who will do whatever it takes to succeed. I was able to get to know you a little better when I asked you to help sell tickets for me in athletics. You were a breath of fresh air, you are confident, and without a doubt, you are going places. Thank you, Hannah, for recognizing me as an educator who has impacted you. You have had an equally positive impact on me. I have always said there is no bigger compliment for an educator than one that comes from a student. It has been my pleasure working with you and getting to know you for the last 3 years. I look forward to following you as you take on Baldwin Wallace and the ladies soccer team. Congratulations, Hannah, and thank you.
Bryn is a PLCC student enrolled in the engineering program. At PLCC, she is a member of Student Council as reporter, and she is a student ambassador. She is a member of National Honor Society and Skills USA Leadership Training. Bryn works at GPD. Bryn plans to further her education at Malone University. She would like to work towards a master's degree in engineering while minoring in sociology. Bryn is recognizing Mr. Don Ellison.
So let me start with a little backstory. You see, I was homeschooled most of my life, in and out of private schools all the time. And my very first experience in school was in Mr. Ellison's class. I was nervous, really nervous, and a little bit excited at the same time to learn something new. But I actually was debating on whether or not to go into aviation. Even so, I am so glad that I decided to join engineering, not only because of its wide open fields for women, but also from the mentoring that I gained from Mr. Ellison. Mr. Ellison would always believe in me, even when my doubts would drown me. He would always believe in my dreams or encourage me to go further in things that I would personally not have actually thought of for myself or thought I could do. He was there to help me take my next steps, and it's because of his teaching that I learned how to master AutoCAD and actually gained a summer internship when I was 15 years old at an architectural company and offered a full-time position. I was looking forward to his class every morning and hearing his dad jokes and his genuine concern for when something didn't pan out. He always had a story to tell that kind of related to our circumstances, and it really did help us grow from that situation. In this class, I also learned how to use Inventor, a 3D mechanical software, and Revit, a 3D architectural software. As I mentioned earlier, AutoCAD, because of the skills I gained from AutoCAD, I was given a second opportunity at GPD group working in the energy department. So I wanted to say thank you, Mr. Ellison, for believing me and helping me through everything and helping me get a good career to start in. It's because of your guidance and your direction that I have a future I can be proud of.
Hey, Bryn, it's Mr. Ellison. Thank you so much. I don't even know what else to say. But, it's been an honor. It's been a privilege to be your teacher for the last 2 years. And for you to pick me as your most influenced teacher, it warms my heart. I don't even know what to say. For you and your brother both to pick me, your family is amazing. And I don't even know what else to say. Stick with them. You have a great family. Bryn, I loved everything you've done in my classroom. I loved everything about you. You're such an amazing girl. I believe you're going to go on to exciting things in your life, whether it be in your career, in your personal life, or whatever it is. Just, stick to who you are, because you are your own person, and I really did appreciate that of you. But Bryn, thank you again. This is an honor. It's a privilege, and again, I will miss you, and I will see you soon. Thank you.
Faith has participated and lettered in soccer, girls golf, and girls basketball. She is a member of Student Council and Senior Class Council. Faith has served as backstage manager and student director for the spring musicals. She also has participated in the College Credit Plus program for 2 years. This has been a big part of advancing her education. After graduation, Faith will be attending Kent Stark State to pursue a degree in nursing. She plans to become a registered nurse and would like to pursue a career as a hospice nurse. She would like to be a hospice nurse because she feels that she has the heart and the mindset to handle this difficult position. Faith is recognizing Miss Lindsay Ibis.
When I found out that I was going to be a part of the Top 25 banquet, I was very excited that I'd be able to honor a teacher that has influenced me greatly. There are multiple teachers that came to mind, but the teacher I chose has a different relationship with me compared to other teachers. I chose Miss Ibis because she is an amazing teacher, director, person, and friend. I grew close to Miss Ibis freshman year when she became my theater teacher and I helped backstage in the spring musical. Since freshman year, Miss Ibis believed in me and gave me the confidence I'd never felt from any other teacher. She put so much faith in me, no pun intended, and was someone I could always go to. The great thing about being a part of the musicals from beginning to end is watching people at the beginning who do not know their lines, their songs, or their choreography to the very end on opening show night when the show turns into something beautiful. All of our musicals would have never been as beautiful without Miss Ibis. She had the patience, grace, integrity, and creativeness to be the perfect director for these musicals. She bumped me up to backstage manager my sophomore year, and then last year I became the student director. She made me feel like her and I were equals rather than student and teacher. She helped me grow into such a leader and helped me get a little bossier than I already was, but hey, that's not a bad thing. Miss Ibis is one of the kindest people I have ever met and makes everyone's lives a little bit brighter. I'm very sad our journey got cut short this year, but I will be back next year to see another musical created beautifully by her.
Faith Dawson. How do I even begin to encapsulate the beautiful human that is Faith Dawson? Let me rewind just a little bit. Faith has been a leader amongst her peers since the 8th grade. She took my junior high theater class, and even then, she was so responsible, so conscientious, so kind-hearted. She even demonstrated some pretty impressive art skills because I could almost decipher what TV show her shoebox diorama was supposed to portray. After that, Faith told me she would never audition for a musical because, in her words, Ibis, you don't want to hear me sing. But man, could she motivate people. Faith and her friend posse started volunteering for us backstage, moving set and painting more brick walls than Faith would probably ever like to remember. Lucky for us, though, she stuck it out and quickly became an invaluable member of our theater family. This year, she was supposed to take the reins as our student director. Obviously, things didn't go the way we planned, but even through our shortened season, Faith was still the dedicated, hardworking, bright young woman we know her to be. And I know that no matter what the future holds or how challenging her college course is or how many shoebox dioramas she has to make, this athlete, scholar, and all-around talented human will persevere just as she has through these unprecedented times. Faith is moving on to bigger and better things, but gosh, is she leaving us some big shoes to fill. Faith, I am beyond grateful to have you as a student, and I will miss you dearly when you leave. Best of luck on your next grand adventure, and please know that we will be back here rooting for you every step of the way.
David has been a member of the Springfield wrestling team for 4 years, 3 of which he wrestled varsity. He has been on the honor roll consistently throughout his high school career. David has taken advanced placement classes and has participated in the College Credit Plus program through the University of Akron. David has been accepted and will attend Bowling Green State University, where he will major in criminal justice. With this degree, he would like to work for the government, specifically the Drug Enforcement Administration. David is recognizing Miss Annie Knight.
Being a student in high school is a job which can be happy and fun or quite boring. For students, a teacher with the ability to make it happy and fun is very important. Being able to not only teach your class new information, but teach it in a way where they think about it and remember it is vastly improves the learning process. Miss Knight did this for me. Miss Knight teaches language arts, a class which can be very boring at times. She taught it in a way that made it fun and enjoying. She would play clips about the topics we were learning and audio from the book we were reading. This, combined with her learning style, made language arts very enjoyable. Miss Knight teaches in a very engaging way. She teaches her lessons and asks questions throughout the lesson instead of waiting until the end. This is important because if she waited until the end to ask the questions and a student didn't know during the lesson, the whole lesson was for nothing. Miss Knight also knew how to get us out of our comfort zone. I remember in junior high, Miss Knight made us write a small essay about ourselves and read it in front of the class. At the time as a little kid, this was terrifying, but going back and looking at it now, I see why it was so important for her to do. This made us be comfortable around our classmates and talk to people. It also made us learn to be confident in ourselves and stand up and talk in front of people. She would also do this while we were reading books, and she would make us read aloud to the class. This was also scary, but it made us learn to be confident in ourselves and just do it. Looking back on Miss Knight's class, I understand now why she did the things she did, and this is why she left an impact on me. Engaging with her students and teaching them new information while also getting us to meet new people is the reason she is a great teacher.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to say a few words about David DeLisi. I had David in English class twice, once in 8th grade and then again in 11th grade, and I certainly saw him grow academically from junior high to high school, but even as an 8th grader, David had a unique maturity about him. And David was a quiet student, but he was able to voice his interpretations and his thoughts on the literature that we were reading in class in such a professional and intelligent way through his writing. I recently looked back on one of David's essays from his junior year. He was writing about Henry David Thoreau and transcendentalism, and I found some of his words very profound. David said, "By being your own individual, you can feel freedom and further your own goals in life. By setting yourself apart from everyone else, you can truly see how unique you can be." David, thank you very much for this recognition. It was my honor to be your teacher.
Carly works at Acme Fresh Market and also volunteers at the local food banks, Edwin Shaw, and Waterworks Park. At Springfield High School, Carly is a 4-year letterman for both softball and golf. She is also a peer tutor and holds the secretary position of National Honor Society and is the treasurer of Heromino. After high school, Carly will be attending Geneva College, where she will major in elementary and special education. Carly will also be continuing her sports career playing both softball and golf at the collegiate level. Carly is recognizing Mrs. Paula Murphy.
The teacher I'm honoring today is Mrs. Murphy. I'm so grateful to have her in my life, and I have known Murph since I was 7 years old in her 1st grade classroom. Ever since then, she has always been there for me and has believed in me when I felt that no one else ever did. She has celebrated with me during my highest moments and has gotten me through my lows. Murph has always supported me in all my decisions, from personal to sports related. Murph is such an important role model in my life, and she is one of the strongest and most kind-hearted people that I know, and I strive to be exactly like her. She pushes me to do the best that I can in everything that I do. But she isn't just like that with me. She's like that with everyone. She has such a positive outlook on everything, and it is contagious for everyone. No matter what happens in life, she does not let it stop her, and instead she powers through everything. These past 2 years, I have gotten so much closer with Murph in all aspects of life. Being able to drive and leave school throughout the school day has allowed me to see her firsthand doing something that she loves that isn't softball or golf, which, we all know are some of her favorite things, especially because I'm there. But instead, I'm able to sit back and see her influence other people's lives in the classroom. And I always tell people that it takes a special person to be an elementary school teacher, and Murph is perfect for that. Seeing her bring smiles to everyone around her, students and coworkers alike, just proves that she's where she belongs. She is one of the biggest reasons that I'm going to school for elementary education. Seeing how happy she is while doing what she loves, and the type of influence she has on people, including myself, has given me the confidence to follow my dream and become just like her. She is one of the biggest reasons for who I am today. Thank you for everything. I love you, Murph.
Carly, I am honored to be chosen as an influential educator by you. Thank you so much. I'm sorry this is how your senior year ended. Definitely not how we had planned. I know you will persevere and use this to help others as they face hardships. Your work ethic, both in athletics and academics, will help you reach all of your goals. Your determination is always going to be one of your best assets. You were in my first grade class during my first year at Young Elementary School, and I remember it well. We had 28 students in our class, and you were always a great helper. Ironically, at one of our last softball practices, I remember you and one of your classmates talking together just like you did in first grade. It made me so happy to see that after all of these years. I loved being your teacher and coach throughout the years. It has been a pleasure watching you grow as both a student and an athlete. Best of luck in your future. As you know, my favorite hashtag is hashtag Spartan Pride. And today, I'm attaching that to you, Carly Devaney. Hashtag Spartan Pride. Love you, kiddo.
Throughout high school, Jared has been involved in multiple clubs, including Student Council, Haromino, Ski Club, and National Honor Society. Jared ran track for 2 years and played soccer his senior year. Jared has also participated in the College Credit Plus program through the University of Akron for 2 years. Jared will be attending the University of Akron in the fall, where he will be majoring in either business or computer science. Jared is recognizing Dr. Amy Hartman.
When I was told I was in top 25 and I had to pick a teacher, I knew immediately who I was going to pick. Someone who I've been with throughout all the 4 years of high school and has stayed constant in my life. Whether it be my website design class, yearbook class, or just student council, I had the pleasure of knowing Dr. Hartman throughout all of high school. Dr. Hartman has been one of the only teachers that I've formed a friendship with, and I am able to talk to about any problems. She's extremely easy to approach and always willing to help those in need. She's someone who I can trust and talk to whenever. Throughout the years, she has seen me grow as a person that's more shy into someone who's more energetic and talkative. She was always there to help me along the way, whether that be with getting volunteer hours at the food bank, help me with schoolwork, or just to talk to about my school problems. Dr. Hartman is someone who motivates people to do better and try harder. Whenever I told her about my low grades this year and my lack of motivation to fix them, she told me to keep going and keep my grades up until graduation. I couldn't imagine any other teacher I would pick besides Dr. Hartman. I appreciate you for sticking with me beside all of high school.
Congratulations, Jared. I'm very proud of you, and I even wore my cap and gown for you. I wanted to let you know that you have taught me many things. First of all, you've taught me humor. You made our yearbook field trip super fun and our yearbook class super fun. You made everyone laugh, including myself, especially when you would just burst out and sing during our class. The second thing you taught me was your love of music, and I introduced you to a band, 21 Pilots, and you introduced me to Frank Ocean, whom I still listen to this day. The next thing is you introduced me to food. I've never met a boy that liked chicken more, and you constantly talked about Popeye's chicken, which I finally got to taste, and I would agree, Jared, it is fantastic. And then, of course, you taught me school dedication. You taught me that a student can be involved in many things. You were involved in track, soccer, cross country. You were a member of student council, of which I was an advisor, and you were also editor of the yearbook. So I thank you to your dedication to our school. So all in all, Jared, congratulations. You've taught me many things, and best of luck.
Madison is a 2-year member of National Honor Society, where she is currently serving as the chaplain. Madison also participates in the College Credit Plus program through the University of Akron. This year, she is on campus full-time, allowing her to meet new people through the CCP Honors Program. After graduation, Madison will continue her education at the University of Akron. She will be majoring in nursing and also plans to participate in the ROTC program. Madison is recognizing her school counselor, Miss Christina Head.
For my most influential educator, I have chosen Miss Head. When I first met her, I was always hesitant about going to see her and talk to her. I got so used to seeing Miss Wakeland for my problems that seeing her instead didn't feel right. But making the decision to see her changed everything. She has helped me to open my eyes to who I am as a person and realize what I deserve out of life. Throughout the course of my senior year, I had some low points that were difficult for me to get through on my own. During these times, Miss Head was always there for me, even if it was only through a text message. Since I was on campus at the University of Akron as a full-time student and was constantly working, it was difficult for me to make time to see her in person. So texting her was sometimes my only option. One thing that I have struggled with the most in life is confrontation. Whenever I think about having to talk to someone about how I feel and how their actions have affected me, my stomach twists up into knots and I chicken out of it. Oftentimes, I would talk to Miss Head about these instances, and she would always tell me that I needed to talk to them. Nothing would get better if I sat around and didn't do anything. I still struggle with this at times, but overall I felt more confident about confronting people about what bothers me. This may not seem like a big issue to everyone else, but for me it has been one of my biggest hurdles. Miss Head has helped me to learn to manage confrontation, and this is a skill I will need as I move forward in not only my education but also in life. I appreciate Miss Head's guidance and support through these last 2 years of high school. She has helped me prepare for what lies ahead.
I have had the privilege of knowing Maddie for the last 2 years. As her school counselor, I was lucky enough to sit down with Maddie and get a true picture of who she is and who she wants to be. We've had the opportunities to just sit and chat about life, about her classes, about her goals, the things she wants to do, about work, all of those things. Maddie is an incredibly driven young lady with a wonderful future before her. She has ideas of the things that she wants to accomplish, and I know that she can accomplish those things. She isn't afraid of hard work, and it shows in all that she does. Maddie is truly a joy to be around, and I am so glad that I've been able to get to know her. Maddie, thank you for choosing me and for this honor. I am so proud of you for the hard things that you've done and the hard things that you will continue to do throughout your life. I hope that you always dream big and chase relentlessly after those dreams. Don't give up on those, and don't give up on yourself at any point. And I hope that you always remember that I'm here, and I'm available for a chat at any time, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Tyler works at Congress Lakes Golf Course as a grounds crew member. Tyler is a 4-year letterman of the boys varsity soccer team, a 2-year letterman of the boys varsity golf team, and a 2-year letterman of the boys varsity basketball team. Tyler is a member of the Bridge Building Club, Senior Class Council, a member of the Relate Bible Study, and is the Sergeant at Arms of National Honor Society. In his spare time, Tyler enjoys spending time with his friends and family, and either plays golf or soccer. In the fall, Tyler plans to attend the University of Akron and will major in mechanical engineering. Tyler is recognizing Mr. Jack Morgan.
Since kindergarten, I believe that I have had many great and influential teachers. Students may remember multiple special moments or events in a specific class taught by a teacher that they enjoy. Consequently, when I thought about my most influential teacher for top 25, I tried to remember all the memorable moments in all my classes. As a result, I determined that my most influential teacher and mentor was my 10th grade biology teacher and the boys varsity golf coach, Mr. Morgan. During the summer before my freshman year, I remember going with my brother to his summer golf practice. At that time, I played soccer and had no interest in playing golf despite Mr. Morgan's continuous teasing about joining the golf team. However, during my junior year, I made the decision to join the golf team, which was the best decision of my life. Mr. Morgan was a great golf coach and tremendously helped me to improve my golf skills during the 2 years of being a member of the golf team. In addition, I will always remember feeling anxious when Mr. Morgan requested to see my scorecard during a match and having to explain to him why there was an 8 on my scorecard. Mr. Morgan's biology class was one of my most memorable classes in high school. I felt like I learned a lot and I enjoyed his teaching style. Also, he was very funny and liked to joke around and tease his students. For example, I remember him requesting students that were tardy to bring the whole class donuts. As a result, we ate donuts on a frequent basis because most students, including myself, were unfortunately victims of being late for his first period class. Mr. Morgan was a very influential teacher to me and has touched my life in many ways. I am happy that I joined the golf team during my junior year and was a part of his biology class. I will miss seeing him at school every day, joking around with him during golf matches, and talking about Ohio State football. Thank you again for everything, Mr. Morgan. You are truly a top teacher.
Hi, Tyler. Thank you for selecting me for the Top 25 banquet this year. It's too bad that we can't meet as a whole group, but I'm very honored that you selected me for this occasion. When I think of you, I think of a person who has a lot of class, just like your entire family, and it was a wonderful experience to get to know you as a person, as a student, and as an athlete, and as well as your entire family. When I think of model students at the high school level, your name always comes into my mind when you start to think of that type of individual. I wish you nothing but the best and success in the future, and I know you're going to be successful in anything that you choose to do, especially when you go to college. Thanks again.
Taylor is a member of National Honor Society, Class Council, and Student Council. She is a 4-year member of the volleyball team, a 4-year member of the girls' basketball team, and a 4-year member of the softball team. After graduation, Taylor plans to attend Cleveland State University. She will pursue a major in pre-dentistry. Taylor will also play softball for Cleveland State University. Taylor is recognizing Mr. Dan Caslow.
The teacher I chose was Mr. Caslow, obviously. That probably doesn't shock too many of you. Mr. Caslow and I go way back. Like, I'm talking this whole thing starts in 7th grade. During that year, we honestly never talked. He would sit in the corner of his room and drink his chocolate milk and hardly spoke a word. If that doesn't scream awkward, then I don't know what does. Fast forward to 8th grade, when I got lucky enough to have him again, that's really when the party started. I don't know how it happened, but one day it was like we were besties. This was something that really shocked me. The one thing that he says to his students today that I can really vouch for is that he grows on you like a fungus. I wouldn't imagine our friendship any other way. I tell people that he's like my dad, but at school, because you can honestly go to him with anything. He makes you laugh and he'll do absolutely anything to make you feel better about yourself. He's someone that can joke with you and lighten any situation. I honestly don't know what my junior high and high school experience would have been like without him. He especially helped me out with all of my sports. Having him at every game to run score clock was a great thing because he was my sideline coach when I needed advice on what to do during the game. Speaking of games, we usually bet on a lot of things. We would bet on Swenson's and Taco Bell. And when he knew he would win, he would always bet the game on a jar of lightly salted peanuts. The betting even went as far as taking it to my mom, where they would bet on games on whether or not I would cry, because I'm a very emotional person, but it was all in good fun. Overall, many people aren't lucky enough to say they have a teacher like Mr. Caslow. He was a mentor, coach, and a shoulder to lean on. He can make you laugh, and even if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, he will serenade you down the halls and promise to bring a nice toaster to your wedding when you get married. I can never tell him enough how thankful I am that he was a part of my high school experience, and it's going to be really hard not to be able to go to his classroom after every day and round about every single thing that happened that day. So, Mr. Caslow, thank you for everything you've done. I'm pretty sure you still owe me a t-shirt.
On behalf of the MLT, I'd like to congratulate the class of 2020, top 25, your extraordinary accomplishments. Really impressive. A pandemic, epidemic, murder hornets, or an alien invasion can't take away from everything that you've done, so be proud. On a side note, the class of 2020, one of my all-time favorites ever come through Springfield. I'm going to miss you guys. I hope God blesses your future. Speaking of which, every teacher has a student that you connect with, that you get along with, that you just love having in class. Taylor Kern wasn't really that student for me. I had her in 7th grade, and she actually didn't say a word to me all year. Luckily enough, I had her in 8th grade. We got to talking a little, get to know her a little bit better, and she turns out to be a pretty cool kid. As time goes on, in a 7 through 12 building, you get to know people. You see them around a lot. I get to know her family. She has real cool parents, bratty sister, and really get to see that Taylor is an extraordinary human being. Hardworking, funny, caring, just a good person to have around. And as proud as I am of what you've accomplished so far, Taylor, I'm even more excited to see what you do in the future. Oh, the places you will go. I'm going to miss you, TK. Go get him, kid.
Katie has attended Springfield local schools ever since kindergarten. She is anxious to graduate and move on to great things. She currently holds a GPA of 4.55 and is the assistant to the officers in National Honor Society. Katie also participates in the College Credit Plus program through the University of Akron. Caitlin has committed to the University of Akron, where she plans to major in nursing. She would like to eventually become a nurse practitioner. Katie is recognizing Mr. Matthew Graves.
As we go through so many years of school and even more teachers, we find that not all of them are going to stand out to us or even make an impact on us. Mr. Graves is definitely one of those teachers that's going to have an impact on you, whether you know it in the moment or not. And anyone lucky enough to have had him as their teacher will know that. I had Mr. Graves in 10th grade, and he was my APUSH teacher. And for those of you who are fortunate enough not to know what that stands for, it means Advanced Placement U.S. History. And the content of this class was extremely hard to learn because there's so much information that we needed to know in such a short amount of time to get ready for the test at the end of the year. And if we didn't pass this, then we wouldn't get college credit for the course. So Mr. Graves made it his mission to try to get as many of us to pass as possible. And it wasn't an easy test, but many of us passed. And this wasn't because we loved learning about history. Well, at least most of us didn't. It was because he taught us in a way that we wanted to learn. And he knew to make things fun. And he knew when to buckle down and just get work done. And most importantly, he made sure that we knew this wasn't going to be like any other classes. It wasn't going to be easy. We had to take the initiative and start being more responsible students. Mr. Graves made me a better student overall because he was one of the first teachers to help me get ready for college. And as a CCP student now, I can say with confidence that I wouldn't have been doing as well in my classes now if I didn't have Mr. Graves for APUSH. Yet I was never as stressed out as I should have been, given the amount of stuff that I needed to know, because I knew that Mr. Graves, he wouldn't have been disappointed in me if I forgot to do a homework assignment every once in a while. And he never stressed me out or made me feel like a homework assignment should have been the number one priority in my life. He knew that we had other things going on in our lives. And this is something that other teachers seem to forget a lot of the times. And besides being an amazing teacher, Mr. Graves is an even better person. He is very kind and compassionate, and he is always happy to help you in any way he can. And he is always willing to stick around at the end of the day and just talk about how life is going.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the entire class of 2020. Congratulations for your strength and understanding during this difficult time. Top 25 students, great job. You were a great class, and I will miss you all. What an honor it was to be chosen by Katie Krosnick. Although I only had Katie for one class, it was a memorable year. She truly is an outstanding student and even better of a person. I remember her telling me at the beginning of her sophomore year that history was not her strong suit. So she was going to ask a lot of questions, and I needed to be on top of my game. So Katie, thank you for pushing me to work harder. I hope that I did a good job. I was super impressed how hard she worked in the difficult class of APUSH. It's not an easy class, it's a college level class for sophomores in high school. I admire and respect how hard she worked throughout the class, and I admire and respect her for even working harder for her college classes throughout high school. I know that she cares a lot about people, and I think that's why she made a perfect career choice. She wants to be a registered nurse, so that's going to be great for everyone, especially during times like this. And I know that she'll even work harder after she's a registered nurse to become a nurse practitioner. Katie, I hope you come back and visit. I hope to continue to get emails from you to keep me updated on how well you're doing. I'm very honored to be part of your education. Mr. and Mrs. Krosnick, congratulations on raising such a fine young lady. And Katie, congratulations on making the top 25.
Colin has been working at Chipotle since January and will soon also be working at Congress Lake Golf Club. He is a 2-year member of National Honor Society, a 4-year letterman in cross country, a 3-year letterman in outdoor track, a member of Bridge Building Club, as well as an Eagle Scout in the Boy Scouts of America. Colin enjoys playing video games, as well as outdoor activities such as swimming, biking, sitting in the sun, and walking around outdoors. After graduation, Colin plans to attend the University of Akron, where he will major in mechanical engineering. Colin is recognizing Mr. Kevin Gorby.
Hi, my name is Colin LaForce. I chose Mr. Kevin Gorby as my top 25 influential teacher. Throughout my life, I've had many teachers and coaches that stood out to me because they cared about their job. Not only did they care about their job, but also their students and athletes. One of those people who stood out to me was Mr. Gorby. I got to know Mr. Gorby better as coach or old slow guy. I first met Mr. Gorby in 7th grade when I decided to run cross country. At that time, he was not my coach, and instead it was Doc B at the time. Though he may not have been my coach, I was right there with the high schoolers in the same atmosphere, and I got to see how he coached them. I saw how he was always there to give them a goal to strive for, a person who could give valuable advice, or someone you wanted/needed to talk to. I experienced all this for myself during my high school running career, and it lived up to what I had seen from a distance a few years back. With his help, hard work, and dedication, I was able to accomplish more than I ever thought I would. Mr. Gorby is more than a great coach. He's also a great person. He cares more for others than he does himself. He makes it his job to go out of his way for others so they can go about their day normally. I've seen many examples of this, but the most vivid memory I have of this is from the 2018 through 2019 indoor track season. First of all, he lives 45 minutes away from the school, so that's a drive on its own. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, the school day would end, and he would run the first indoor practice from 2:50 to 4:30. Myself and a few others would arrive at the school at 4:45. We would then leave for Youngstown's track facility at 5 o'clock. And we got to Youngstown around 6 o'clock. He would then run the second practice with us from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Practice would end, and he would then take us all home, all back to the school. After we got back to the school, he would finally have his drive home. He would then roughly get home around 10 o'clock. He didn't have to do any of that, but he did because it's who he is. He cares about his athletes and students as real people. When it came time for my Eagle Scout ceremony, I sent him an invite. Sure enough, he showed up to show me support for my accomplishment. Something totally unrelated to running, he was there to show his support. I learned a lot from Mr. Gorby over these years. Hard work and dedication can get you very far. If you're doing something for someone, don't make it seem like it's a hassle for you. In the long run, that person will be thankful for what you did. Probably the most important lesson I learned from him is to be thankful for who and what you have around you. There are many people that aren't as lucky as us. Mr. Gorby has truly become someone who influenced me and has helped me maintain some of the same practices and behaviors my parents have taught me over the years. I'm so thankful to have had him as a coach, teacher, mentor, and most importantly, a friend.
How you doing, everybody? This is Kevin Gorby here. I was nominated by Colin LaPorce for the top 25 teacher nomination. I want to thank him very, very much for that nomination. He was an amazing person to be with for the last 4 years. His running and his education have been exemplary. He's such a hard worker, such a great person. Got to sit there and watch him get his Eagle Scout award. He's just done so many amazing things in his time. He has definitely been a role model for the other kids in the cross country and track program. His work ethic is second to none. He will be greatly missed in our program. So we definitely hope to see him back soon. Like I said, don't be a stranger. But again, Colin, I want to thank you so much for everything you've done for Springfield and helping us out to be the team, the program, the school that we possibly can be. So thank you so much, Colin LaPorce, again for this nomination. It was a great honor. You'd have a great rest of the summer and good luck in college. Take care, Colin.
Madison is a 4-year letterman on the golf team and softball team. She is a 3-year member of the basketball team. Madison also plays club softball for the Wolfpack organization. She volunteers with younger club softball teams. Madison is also a member of Student Council, Haromino, and French Club. Madison is a member of Senior Class Council and is a 2-year member of the National Honor Society and the College Credit Plus program. She is also a 4-year member of Renaissance. In the fall, Madison will be attending Ohio University, where she plans to major in political science. Madison is recognizing Mr. Kevin Hanna.
Well, to be completely honest, I've wanted Mr. Hanna to be my top 25 teacher since 7th grade. Before 7th and 8th grade science with Mr. Hanna, I didn't have the same passion for school as I do now. He showed me that school doesn't have to be hard if you study hard and give it your all. Because of him, I'm able to be the student I am today. Not only did Mr. Hanna manage to help me academically, but he also helped me as an athlete. From freshman year to senior year, he has been my golf coach. In all of my years of playing sports, I've never had a coach as passionate or as caring as him. He may not realize, but he taught me how important keeping my composure was. Whenever I was having a bad round of golf, he somehow managed to bring my spirits up every time. I can honestly say, I felt like I always golfed better whenever he was watching me. Golf can be very frustrating, but by learning how to be calm and disciplined, I found success. I will carry that same mentality with me for the rest of my life. Not only did Mr. Hanna shift my mentality about school and sports, but he taught me so much more about life. Mr. Hanna was the person I could go to for honest advice. even if it wasn't what I wanted to hear. Mr. Hannah was also the person that showed me I was strong enough to keep going, even when times got pretty tough. Whether on the golf course or in the classroom, he would preach the idea that nothing is ever given to you. You have to work for it. If you don't work hard, then there will be someone else there waiting to take your place. I will forever have that mentality when it comes to being successful in life. When I'm in college, I'm going to miss you. But don't worry, I'll come back and visit. 4 years from now, when I visit, I'll be showing you my college diploma. I hope you know that you had a huge part in the process it took to get there. Mr. Hannah, thank you.
Congratulations, class of 2020. Special congratulations to the top 25 students, and congratulations to my colleagues who were nominated as the most influential educators for this top 25 class. But in reality, I think most of you will agree all we're really doing is turning around and helping the next person in line. Madison Miller, M&M, where do I start? Let's start all the way back in grade school where your basketball team scrimmaged my son's basketball team that I coached. Or we could start at 6th grade where, if I recall, you did pretty well in Shrop Idle. But let's start in 7th grade where you showed up on my science roster. And then you showed up again on my 8th grade roster. And we all know at the beginning of the year we always ask for tissues, Kleenex, Clorox wipes, hand sanitizers, everything. And of course Madison Miller did not disappoint. In fact, I still have that box that you brought in your 8th grade year. And as you all can see there, it said, "From Madison Miller, saved for my senior year." And I did. I saved it. And then on the other side, a little message. So from there, the next 4 years was amazing. On the golf team, I watched you grow and mature. I watched you deal with adversity, from broken wrists to broken friendships to torn ACLs. You fought so hard to get back, and even when you were in the game, you never wanted to come out. In fact, if I recall a match at Norton, you weren't feeling very well, and with 3 holes left, you got sick, right in the middle of the fairway. I pulled up, I said, "Okay, let's load you up, we'll get you back to the clubhouse." You said, "No, I'm going to finish the match." And then you asked me to do something really crazy. "Mr. Hannah, can you take a picture of that and send that to my mom? That way I won't have to go to pitching this evening." So I did. What am I going to do? Say no? Speaking of your parents, Randy and Stacy Miller, I wanted to thank you for all the kind words over the years. You both have raised an incredible young lady. Thank you for allowing me to have such a small influence on your daughter's life. It's students like this that make us teachers fight so hard for continued opportunities. Madison, you're an amazing, talented, well-spoken young lady. Use your drive, use your ambition to reach your goals. Don't settle for second team. You don't like it, remember?
Evelyn is a 2-year member of National Honor Society where she is currently serving as the treasurer. She is a 4-year Renaissance recipient. Evelyn is also a 4-year member of Heromino, currently serving as the secretary. She is a 2-year letterman for girls varsity bowling, soccer, and track. She was captain of the soccer team this year and earned PTC honorable mention for bowling. Outside of school, Evelyn is a competitive dancer and served as the captain of the Spartan dance team. She is also a 4-year member of student council, currently serving as the vice president. She is a 3-year member of class council, French club, and has participated in the College Credit Plus program for 2 years. Evelyn plans to attend the University of Akron, where she will major in criminology. She plans a future career in crime scene investigation or would like to be a forensic science technician. Evelyn is recognizing Madame Jennifer Smith.
Over my many years of being in school, I have been blessed to have some great teachers, but for the top 25, I was asked to choose one teacher that influenced me the most for my 13 years at Springfield schools. I knew right away that I wanted to choose Miss Smith as that teacher. I first had Miss Smith for conversational French way back in 7th grade, and then again for French 1 and French 3 in high school. I instantly fell in love
with the way she taught, her personality, and the way she cared for each and every one of her students. I was a very shy kid growing up and was always very nervous, but every day when I had her class, I felt like I could be open and just be myself. She would always have a huge smile on her face as all her students walked in, and it always made me excited for her class. I was always drawn to the French language from a very young age because I started ballet at the age of 3 and almost all the terminology was French. So right from the start, I was connected to it and wanted to learn more of the language when I got older. Connecting what I loved to do outside of school to an actual class in school made me eager to learn more. So as soon as I could, I joined French and took as many classes as the school offered, and I always requested to have Madame Smith. I always looked forward to her classes, and I created some of my best high school memories in class with Madame Smith. From picking unique French names each year, making delicious treats like crepes, and making goofy French skits, I loved it all. Madame always did her absolute best to create new and fun ways for her whole class to learn French. We played games and did activities that helped all of us grasp the content better and to be prepared for tests in the future. Madame also was just a great person to talk to. If you were stressed about something in another class or just simply needed to talk to someone, she was always there, ready to help and listen to you. She made my love for the French language grow, and I want to thank her for that. Whenever I reflect back and think about my days in her classroom, my memories are filled with positive and fun experiences that I'll remember for a lifetime. Thank you, Madame, for always being there for me and being such an influential person in my life.
Congratulations, Evelyn, on being in the top 25. I feel lucky to have had you in conversational French, French 1, and French 3, and I appreciate your help in French Club over the years. You are one of the kindest people that I know, and your hard work has got you here today, and it's one of the things that I will remember the most about you. I am proud of you, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. Thank you so much for selecting me. I am honored.
Olivia has been a member of the band for 7 years and marching band for 5 years. She is also a 4-year member of jazz band and pep band for 4 years as well. She plays the French horn, mellophone, trumpet, oboe, and baritone. In marching band, Olivia was the freshman and sophomore representative, as well as a section leader and a squad leader for 2 years. Olivia was the president of the band for the 2019 season. As well as having a passion for music, Olivia has also been in theater for 3 years, and she has played LeFou in the latest production of Beauty and the Beast. Olivia has been in Hiromono for 3 years and National Honor Society for 2 years. She has served as president of French Club for 3 years. Olivia is also a 4-year member of Renaissance. After graduation, Olivia plans to attend the University of Akron, where she will major in music education. Olivia is recognizing Mr. Ernie Cole.
When you think of our school's band, you probably think of our Friday night performances. You also probably think about that weird room at the end of the school. When I think of that weird room at the end of the school, I get excited. I get excited to play music and to see all of my friends and to have somewhere where I can just be myself. This is the result of Mr. Cole's hard work over the course of his career and resulting of creating an environment where most kids in the band love to be. I think Mr. Cole inspires me the most because he's always been there for me. He's shown me and my classmates how great band can be and has inspired my future career because of this. When I was in 7th grade, I played the trumpet and could barely hit a high F, and now in 12th grade, I can proudly say that I can play 5 instruments and be highly skilled on them, or mediocre according to Mr. Cole, because of my fast learning musical ability. I know most of you don't have a lot of knowledge about band, but it's okay because Mr. Cole knows. Mr. Cole and I play the same instruments. He mainly plays the trumpet like I did, but plays the French horn when he needs to. The French horn and mellophone are my main instruments for concert and marching band, and I'm lucky enough to have a talented director who can play both of them and who has been able to help me on them. I think one of the things that inspires me the most about Mr. Cole is that he was in the Blue Coats Drum Corps International Group. DCI, or the Drum Corps International, is a competing marching band that goes all across the country and spends countless hours practicing to perform a 10 to 15 minute show, moving nonstop and playing nonstop. Now, this might sound easy, but if you look up a GoPro video, it is absolutely a workout and a half. Even though it may not look like Mr. Cole could do it, he did it. I actually got to see him perform in a reunion of the Bluecoats over the summer with everyone that came back, and it was really cool. He played the mellophone for the Bluecoats, and as a horn player, it's so inspiring to see, as cheesy as that sounds. Even though Mr. Cole can be stern, he's basically maybe a fan base for the band. I was honored to be president of our marching band this past season, and Mr. Cole decided to give me a few nicknames throughout the years. They are as follows: Snaggletooth, LMB or Largemouth Bass, Snaggle, Doofy, Knucklehead, and many more. I have also given Mr. Cole some fun nicknames such as Old Man, Weirdo, Boomer, and more. Okay, despite these nicknames, I honestly love Mr. Cole so much. I love the way he directs and how he can put together a group of kids who don't necessarily share the same passion for band or music to perform two 10-minute shows every year and a 45-minute concert every few months. It's inspired me to want to go on and do it. He's also inspired me to maybe try out for a DZI group sometime in the future, whether it's the Bluecoats or not. He probably looked at this little 8th grader who cried her way through band camp and thought, she isn't going to make it. Well, here I am. I stuck through to annoy him. He's helped me when I've needed it, whether it's in band or my personal life. I've cried to him, and I've thrown water balloons at him. Even if he does retire as a teacher, I'll have the gift of being able to see him come through the McDonald's drive-thru and sneak him free Diet Cokes when my manager isn't looking. Thank you so much, Mr. Cole, for helping me through junior high and high school. Thank you for helping me to become the player I am today, and thank you for putting up with my amazing oboe skills. You've inspired my future, and I will never, ever forget what you've taught me, and I'm sure nobody else will either.
First, I'd like to thank you for considering me as your most influential educator. I'm very honored. I first met Olivia in 7th grade, but my first real interaction with her was when she joined the marching band as an 8th grader. We were at band camp, and she was very timid and shy at this time. It was the first rehearsal at camp, and we were standing at attention with our horns up. I looked over at Olivia, and she was at attention with her horn up, but she was bawling uncontrollably. I wanted to speak to her, and I tried to get her to relax, but she wouldn't speak or move because we were working on not moving and talking at attention. I had to have the entire band take a 5-minute break just so I could get her to relax and to feel more comfortable. I knew at that moment she was going to become a strong leader. While in high school, Olivia was always prepared for class. During her junior year, she really began to become a leader as she was selected to be the assistant section leader of the mellophone section. She really came out of her shell at camp that year with her skit that she did at the talent show, which was awesome. And I believe that carried over to her wonderful performance as LeFou in the school theater production of Beauty and the Beast. She did an awesome job in that play. Her senior year, she was selected as mellophone section leader and was also voted to represent the band as the band president. Olivia has grown up so much since 7th grade band. It's been such a joy having her in class every day. I'm positive that she will accomplish whatever goals that she has set up for herself. We gave Olivia a nickname, and it was LMB. And as you can see in the picture to my right, she has a facial expression that we would always laugh at. We told her it made her look like a largemouth bass. Mr. and Mrs. Nagel, congratulations on the job that you both did raising this young lady. Olivia, congratulations on the accomplishment of being named as a top 25 senior. I hope you stay involved in music and come back and visit anytime you have a question or if you just want to chat. Finally, Olivia, keep your mouth closed or someone may end up putting a fishing hook in it.
Madison has maintained over a 4.0 GPA throughout high school. Madison was involved in student council, National Honor Society, and participated in school sports as well. In her free time, Madison loves to read and go on hikes. Madison has also participated in the College Credit Plus program at the University of Akron, where she was on campus full-time her senior year. Madison has enlisted in the United States Air Force, where she will serve her country for the next 4 years doing an intelligence job. Madison is recognizing Mrs. Heather Phillips.
Miss Phillips, I really cannot believe that I was only in the 7th grade when I first had you as a teacher. Looking back on how young I was then, it's crazy to me that I'm graduating now. I remember being so nervous. It was a new school, all new teachers, and in junior high, a lot of my friendships had changed. Math has never been my strong subject. Even in elementary school, I had to try extra hard to fully understand all the concepts. Being a little bit older, too, I was extra worried about how I was going to do in a math class. I remember very clearly how I sat in the very front of your room, and I think I had you for 2nd and 3rd period because the classes were still blocked at the time. And as soon as you walked into the room and introduced yourself on the first day, I knew I would love your class, even if I wasn't the biggest fan of math. The love and care you have for your students is so clear and so evident. You pour yourself into your job and it shows. I excelled in your class, and that's because of how patient you were and how well you explained every concept, and you were always there to answer all my questions and provide extra help when I needed it. We've been close since I started helping you out during my study hall. Even after 7th grade was over, I always felt like I could come to you and talk to you about anything. You were the person I came to with a lot of my personal struggles and problems, and some weren't even school related at all. You always listened and gave me the best advice that I know I'll carry after high school is over. You've always been such an amazing role model to me, and the kindness that you show to not only your students, but to just people in general, has always been so apparent to me. You are the definition of everything a teacher should be. You're kind, you're hardworking, you're dedicated, you're patient, and you want nothing but the best for your students and from your students. I'm a better student because I had you as a teacher, and I'm a better person from having you as a teacher as well. You helped guide me to decisions that have helped me grow as a person, and I am so thankful that I could always come to you throughout junior high and high school.
Hi, Maddie. I'm sorry we can't be together today to celebrate your accomplishment. Congratulations on making it as one of Springfield's top 25 seniors. I am so proud of you, and this is so well deserved. Among the many things I could say about you, and we all know how much I adore you, it is the work ethic that you have. It is extraordinary. Whether it be 7th grade math with me, or as a post-secondary student, off campus even, your dedication and your hard work, it doesn't go unnoticed. Even with your dance and track and soccer and student council, and as an employee, you go above and beyond and you just push every limit and you work so hard, and I'm so proud of you. And I want you to know that that work ethic is your key to success. I'd also like to take this time to thank you so very much for recognizing me as your most influential educator. It's such a blessing and it just warms my heart. I'm so excited to see all the things that you accomplish in the next few chapters of your life. Thank you so much.
Larry is a 4-year member of marching band and jazz band. He is also a member of the Bridge Building Club and the Soapbox Derby Club. Larry is a member of National Honor Society. In the fall, Larry plans to attend either the University of Akron or Mount Vernon University. Larry is recognizing Mr. Pete Geis.
I have to be honest, when I was choosing my teacher, it was not a hard choice at all. I knew exactly from the moment that I could choose a teacher that it would be Mr. Geis. No other teacher has affected me the same as Mr. Geis. I think that he is the only teacher that I learned more about life stuff in his class than about school stuff. And what I learned from Mr. Geis is very valuable to me. I've known Mr. Geis since I took one of his classes way back in 8th grade. I don't remember a single thing from that class, but I remember thinking that to me, Mr. Geis was about as cool of a teacher as you could get. You see, Mr. Geis is way different than most other teachers. First, he always has the best comebacks and sarcasm, and that's probably my favorite part about being around him. Second, Mr. Geis is one of the most rational people I know. He thinks through everything and finds the simplest way possible to get the job done. You always measure twice and cut once. Third, Mr. Geist builds relationships with his students that a lot of other teachers do not. He really cares about his students, even and especially the ones who aren't doing very well in school. Mr. Geist treats his classes as if they weren't just about grades for the students, but about teaching them real-life skills that they will need later on. That is what I admire most about Mr. Geist. So how has Mr. Geist affected my life? I now have a passion for building and woodshop thanks to all his classes, but besides that, I think that over the past 5 years, I have slowly started to become more like this awesome guy. I have started to think differently about how to solve problems. I also care more about people now than I did before, because if I know that I can help them, I should. I have started imitating Mr. Geist, and I'm not even trying to. Mr. Geist is one of the few teachers I have connected with since I've been in high school, and he means a lot to me. The men in my life who mean the most to me are my dad, my grandpa, my pastor, and also Mr. Geist. If you want to have a friend who is sarcastic, very logical, and down to earth, and genuinely cares about your well-being, this is your man.
Hi everybody. I want to start off by saying congratulations to all of you that are in the top 25 this year. That is an incredible accomplishment that you guys worked very hard for, and you deserve all the recognition that you get for it. So congratulations. I'm proud of all of you guys. I was asked to say a few words here about a young man by the name of Larry Ritterbeck, and let me just say it is incredibly humbling to be selected as a most influential educator for any person, but especially when that person is Larry Ritterbeck. I'm sure none of you are surprised to see that Larry's in your top 25. I could say Larry is easily one of the most intelligent, gifted, talented, hardworking, mature students that I've ever had the privilege to work with. And it has been a joy, honestly, to work with him for the last 4.5 years in various forms. He ran cross country, he did the bridge building club, he did the soapbox derby club, and I had him in a few classes as well. And he did a marvelous job in almost everything he did. And I don't know what Larry's going to move on to do for the rest of his life, but I do know that whatever it is, Larry's going to do it well, because I don't know if Larry knows any other way to do it. But Larry, as you continue on your journey, if you ever need anything, whether it's help or advice or even a hand, you just let me know and I will be there for you. All right, Larry? Congratulations again, everybody.
Stephanie attends Portage Lakes Career Center studying pre-nursing while also taking college classes. She has obtained her STNA certification. Stephanie is a member of the National Technical Honor Society. She is also the president of a student-led organization called Skills USA. She has served as the president for 2 years. Stephanie is a member of the Springfield National Honor Society chapter. She is also a 4-year volunteer for One of a Kind Pet Rescue and has done over 60 hours of volunteer work at Summa Hospital. Stephanie also finds time to work at Dunkin' Donuts and at a local nursing home. Stephanie will continue her education at Kent Stark in the fall of 2020. She will continue to pursue a nursing major. She would like to become a registered nurse. Stephanie would like to work in an emergency department. Stephanie is recognizing her pre-nursing instructor, Mrs. Christy Mackenzie.
Throughout many years of schooling, students always have that one educator who has impacted their life. For me, that educator is Mrs. Mackenzie. From my first day of class with Mrs. Mackenzie 2 years ago, she has worn a smile on her face. Despite the hardships that came along with both junior and senior year, she never gave up on providing us with an outstanding education and health care. Because of Mrs. Mackenzie, I am working as a state-tested nursing assistant. On the path to obtaining my certificate, I was doubting myself and what I wanted to do in life. Senioritis kicked in, and the moment I started slacking, Mrs. Mackenzie pulled me aside and talked to me about pushing through my last year. If she wouldn't have seen a greatness in me that I couldn't see in myself at the time, I wouldn't be where I am today. Mrs. Mackenzie shows all of her students what real compassion is, and always presents us with endless opportunities to advance our field of study, whether it was volunteer work, job openings, or colleges. Mrs. Mackenzie is not only an influential educator, but an influential person. I hope I carry the amount of compassion, respect, and kindness throughout my entire career that Mrs. Mackenzie exemplifies to every student of hers. I'm so grateful to have been placed in her class and obtained the amount of knowledge I did as her student. Thank you, Mrs. Mackenzie, for always being there and for just being you.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Mackenzie. I'm the pre-nursing teacher at Portage Lakes Career Center. To the Springfield High School Class of 2020 Top 25, congratulations on all that you've accomplished. To Stephanie Shiplet, thank you so much for choosing me as your influential educator. It's been an honor to have you in class for 2 years. You're going to be an amazing registered nurse. On behalf of everyone at Portage Lakes Career Center, congratulations, and we're so proud of you.
Drew has surprised himself by graduating in the top 25 of his class. Drew's extracurricular time at Springfield has been spent in the theater department for the past 4 years. Drew plans to take a gap year followed by attending Kent State to pursue an Associate of Arts degree. Drew is recognizing his junior high art teacher, Miss Jessica Kasher.
For my top 25 recognition, I chose to honor Miss Kasher. When I first found out what top 25 was and that I was a part of it, I always joked that I would take her, Miss Kasher, to the banquet. That's when I was a freshman, and now here we are. I am able to honor one of the most influential teachers I will ever have. She was the first person other than my friends to call me Drew, to see me and respect me for the person who I am today. At that exact moment, I knew I found home in her classroom. She gave me hope that one day I will have a space and a future where I'll be able to do what I love, art. Her room was a place where I could get out my emotions in a positive light. And at the end of the day, I would have a safe space to distress from the chaos and storm that is school. Thank you, Miss Kasher, for being a teacher and a friend, for being a person that I could talk to when my mind felt like static. Thank you for making your class a place to fly, even after my 8th grade art class. I even scheduled an academic privilege every year just so I could come back to your class and help, so I could come home. You have so much hope in me that it bleeds into myself. Your overwhelming belief in me makes me feel like I'm going to be someone great. And when I get there, I'll have you to thank for feeding my little brain what it needed to succeed. Miss Kasher, for all those years of guidance and laughter, from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Hello. I have had the privilege of being recognized by Senior Drew Soyson. I had Drew as an 8th grader in my first year teaching. Drew has graciously volunteered as a helper in my room nearly every semester since. As my fellow teachers know, some helpers are better than others, but Drew has been the best. He's helped me tremendously over the years. He's done everything from untangling giant masses of yarn, to offering organizational help, to giving assistance to students on their projects. Because of Drew's outgoing and kind personality, my students have loved to get his help. This is just one example of the ways in which Drew has grown into a leader here at Springfield. Perhaps one of the things I'll miss most about Drew are the knowing looks and subtle shake of the head when another student does something ridiculous in class. Drew, I've seen you do so many impressive things at Springfield, but one of my favorite has been seeing your love of theater grow. I so look forward to seeing you shine in the spring musicals every year. You absolutely stole the show last year as Cogsworth, and I was so proud of you. You have always stood out as a student that is intelligent, funny, compassionate, comfortable being yourself, and as someone who stands up for the things you believe in. It's been really special to watch you grow and develop these traits over the years, and I am honored that you've chosen to recognize me as a part of that journey. Thank you so much. Congratulations on the incredible accomplishment of being in the top 25 and on all of the other things you've accomplished at Springfield. You will be missed. I am so proud of you, and I look forward to seeing what you do next.
Tara has been attending Springfield schools since kindergarten. Throughout high school, she has been involved in student council, junior and senior class council, as well as working backstage on the past 3 spring musicals. For the most recent musical, Tara was given the position of backstage manager. Tara has also been a part of the College Credit Plus program for 2 years. This opportunity has helped her be more prepared for her future. In the fall, Tara will be attending Kent State University, where she will major in business management. Tara is recognizing Miss Elizabeth Kreitz.
I was very excited to be able to honor a teacher who has helped me become the person I am today. While thinking about who I should choose, a few teachers came to mind. However, there was one I kept going back to. She has helped me so much throughout the years, and I couldn't think of anyone more perfect to honor. I chose Miss Kreitz because she has always been an amazing teacher, person, mentor, and friend. Ever since 7th grade, I could count on Miss Kreitz to not only teach me everything I needed to know about being a good artist, which was a lot, but to also be there for me when I needed her. There were countless times when I would go to her class during my off periods just to talk. She was always welcoming. She motivated me to try harder even when I felt like giving up. This is something I have carried with me through other aspects of my life. She has a great determination to help her students to be the best artists they can be. This is something I really admire about her. She sees the best in everybody and knows that everyone has potential. She's always been a person I can trust. When I was having a bad day and just needed someone to talk to, she was there. When I needed advice, she gave me some of the best I'd ever heard. She is one of the most kind-hearted people I have had the privilege of meeting, and I am so grateful to be able to honor her for being so. So I would like to personally say thank you to Miss Kreitz. Thank you for always being a very welcoming person. Thank you for never giving up on your students, even when they wanted to give up on themselves. And most importantly, thank you for everything you've ever done for me. I appreciate it more than you will ever know.
Tara, what an honor this is for me. Thank you. First of all, congratulations. Top 25. I'm so proud of you. I've watched you since 7th grade set goals and work hard to reach them, and you did it. And I'm so proud. I can't wait to see what you do next. Keep up the hard work and you will be okay. I will cherish all the hours we spent together in art class and especially in art club where I really got to know you. I'm always here for you and I love you. Way to go.
Hannah has participated in concert band for 7 years and marching band for 4 years. Hannah is a majorette in the marching band. Hannah has been in choir since 7th grade and is a 3-year member of Spartanaires. She is a member of the cross-country team as well as the track and field team. Hannah is also a 4-year member of the bowling team where she has participated in the state tournament for 3 years. Hannah was awarded first team for bowling her senior year and was recognized by Greater Akron Preps in the Akron Beacon Journal. Hannah attends PLCC where she participates in the Fire Academy course. While attending PLCC, Hannah has earned an Emergency Vehicle Operations Certificate, Hazmat Level 1, Telecommunicators course, BLS, and at the end of May she will have her Firefighter 1 and 2 card. Hannah is a 2-year member of National Technical Honor Society at the Career Center and has been invited to Renaissance for 4 years. After graduation, Hannah plans to attend Stark State College to earn her EMT certification. She would like to work at a local fire department. Hannah is recognizing Mrs. Rebecca Sabri.
When thinking about people who have influenced me throughout the years, it didn't take me long to think of Mrs. Sabri. I can't count how many times she has supported me and been there for me when I needed someone. From my sophomore year till my senior year, she has always been that teacher that I know I could go to if something was wrong during the school day and after. She takes such pride and joy in making sure her students are happy and well cared for. I'm so glad to have shared so many memories with her. One of my most treasured moments this year was in October. I had a practical at PLCC to climb a 75-foot ladder, and at the time, I was completely terrified of heights. Just the thought of it overwhelmed me, and I couldn't stop the tears from coming. I eventually went to her room because I know she always has an open door. As I walked in, she noticed I was clearly upset. She just let me sit in her room as long as I needed, and she told me, "I'm here if you need me. If you don't want to talk, you don't have to. But if you want to, I will always be here. I appreciate you feeling safe enough to come here instead of being by yourself." At that moment, I felt safe and cared for. I'll never forget all of the times she has done stuff out of love for her students. She cares more about her students than anyone I know. Mrs. Sabri has influenced me so much in the time that I have known her. She's an example to all her students that that we should love everyone despite differences, always give everyone the same chance to do something, be nice to everyone because you never know what someone else is going through, and always respect one another. Thank you, Mrs. Sabri, for always being there for me when I needed someone. And thank you for being such a great teacher. I will never forget you.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Sabri, and I just want to start off by saying that it is both so heartwarming and such an honor to have been chosen as Hannah Warnick's influential educator. So, Hannah, I have so much to say about her. She's a great, great, great young woman. She was probably one of the first students at Springfield that made Springfield feel like home my first year here. She would always start into my room right after lunch with a "guess what happened?" and just proceed to tell me all about her day up until that point, until the bell rang. And then I'd be like, "Hannah, we have to start class." She was also one of those students in Spartanaires who she would stay after Spartanaires, or if she had to go to cross country or track, she would come back afterwards until her ride got there. And we would just sit and talk, and we would just tell each other about our days and tell each other stories about our lives. And we just connected through that, and she just always made me smile. My favorite memory of Hannah was from her sophomore year, my first year at Springfield, and we had sung a song in Spartanaires called Fruitcake, and it's just a silly little song about fruitcake. It's around the holidays, it's kind of funny. And she had bought me a fruitcake, but she didn't bring it to me in December. She brought it to me in February, and I had no idea until February. So it was just really funny, and it just made me laugh and made me smile, which I know was totally her intention the entire time with that. And that's just one of the things I love about her. That's what I love about her the most, is she's always wants to make people happy, and she's always bubbly and kind. And I'm just so, so, so grateful and lucky that I got to meet such a kind, smart, funny, hardworking young woman like Hannah. Hannah, I wish you all the best studying fire science at Stark State. I know you're going to rock it out. You're going to be a killer woman firefighter. And I hope that you always stay in touch with me. And as soon as all this COVID-19 stuff is over, I want to meet up, and I want to give you the biggest hug in the world. Love you so much.
Justice has taken advantage of the College Credit Plus program. Upon graduation, she will have 60 college credits, and she will graduate with honors. Justice is a member of National Society of Collegiate Scholars. She is also a member of the Lakemore Lions Club. She is the youngest active member in Northeast Ohio. Justice enjoys learning new languages. She is trilingual in Spanish, French, and this school year she has learned Italian. After graduation, Justice will continue her education at Kent State University. She plans to major in middle childhood education with a concentration in science and language arts. Justice is recognizing Mrs. Christine DeLauro.
Growing up, I always heard the adults around me talk about the teacher who has impacted them the most throughout their life. With graduation coming up, I started thinking about who impacted me the most. For me, this wasn't a hard decision, as I had Miss DeLauro in 6th grade, and she impacted a lot of who I am. I had Miss Laura for science and social studies, but she taught me many more lessons than just those of science and social studies. One of my favorite things about having her as a teacher was that on Mondays we would talk as a class about our weekends. Something so little always meant so much to me. Not only did we as students get to share information about our life, but Miss Laura would share little things that it made it easier to respect her as a teacher and take her advice. My 6th grade science class was really the first science class I can really remember learning about science in. This was the class where my love for science started. I can remember having projects in this class, and I would do so much extra work for them just because I like learning the science behind things. By the time I started at Kent State, the love for science grew even more. I ended up taking at least 2 science classes a semester. I believe that my love for science would not have been a thing if it was not for Miss Laura. She always seemed to enjoy what she was teaching and teaching it itself. The most impactful thing Miss Laura did, though, was allowing me to eat lunch with her in her classroom. While this was a small thing, it was major to me in 6th grade. I was a very shy person with both my peers and the adults in my life. Miss Laura would let my friend and I eat lunch with her at least 3 times a week. In this time, I was able to slowly come out of my shell and learn that it was just another person. I can remember many lunches where we just would sit there and talk more like equals. Ultimately, Miss Laura impacted so many aspects of my life, and I am beyond thankful that I got to have her as a teacher. I do not think the love I have for science would be what it is if I didn't have her as a teacher.
Wow, Justice Watkins, thank you so much for this honor. It is such a privilege for you to have nominated me for your person, your teacher, your 6th grade teacher. And I can still remember your smiling face in 6th grade, and you worked hard then, and obviously you have worked very hard now to be in the top 25, and you want to be a school teacher. That is such a great honor for you to want to go into that field and remember me as someone that has been a part of your life. So please, maybe you can be my student teacher someday. Maybe you can be one of my colleagues. But I just want to say how proud I am of you, and you can call on me anytime you need anything. So thank you again, Justice. Good luck to you, and enjoy these wonderful years ahead.
Mackenzie is a 2-year member of National Honor Society, where she is currently serving as the president. She is a 4-year member of Heromino and is also currently serving as the president. Mackenzie is a 3-year letterman on the girls' varsity bowling team. She is a member of the dance team, student council, and has served on class council. Mackenzie also participates in the College Credit Plus program. After graduation, Mackenzie will continue her education at the University of Akron, where she will major in Communication Media Studies and minor in dance. Mackenzie is recognizing Mrs. Tina Hartong.
Over the years, I have had the opportunity to be taught by so many wonderful educators, and I am so grateful for them. When I was asked to choose my most influential educator, the answer was obvious to me. I chose Mrs. Hartong as my most influential educator for many reasons. I had her for 7th grade language arts, and her class is still one of my favorites. In 7th grade, I was transferring back to Springfield after being at a different school for 3rd through 6th grade, and I was incredibly nervous to be the new kid again. Mrs. Hartong knew that I was new to the school and went out of her way to check in with me and to make sure that I was doing okay. She might not have realized it then, but it meant a lot to know that I had a teacher that was always looking out for me. My favorite subject in school is language arts, and Mrs. Hartong managed to increase my love for reading and writing even more. I always enjoyed her class, and it made some of my best school memories that year. Before the school year began, she gave a couple books to my mom that she thought I would like, based off of what my mom had told her were my favorite books, and I was so excited to read them when she brought them home. One of the books that she gave me, Of Giants and Ice by Shelby Bach, is still one of my favorite books, and I've reread it many times since then. That book is the one that encouraged me to start writing my own stories, and I would have never found it if it wasn't for Mrs. Hartong. The year that had the most influence over me was 7th grade. I was going through so many changes, like getting used to a new school and making new friends, but I had the best teachers that year, which made it so much easier to adapt. When I think back to 7th grade, all I have are positive memories, and that's probably the only school year where that's the case. I loved going to school, but I especially loved going to Mrs. Hartong's class. She encouraged me to be creative and to never let anyone change anything about me. I'm so beyond thankful to have such an amazing teacher and person in my life. Thank you, Mrs. Hartong, for everything that you've done for me. I wouldn't be who I am now without you.
Congratulations, class of 2020. What an amazing group you are. From the time you all sat in my language arts class in 7th grade, the new kids in the building, scared and awkward, to right now, you've made it the top 25. I couldn't be more proud of you. It's been an amazing journey watching all of you grow. Mackenzie Weekland, where do I even begin? What an honor for me to have been chosen by you for this night. I've watched you grow from a quiet girl with the most amazing, really long reading logs that I enjoyed every word of, to the most driven force of a young woman that I know. Your dedication to your hobbies, your studies, your family, your true friends is one of profound admiration. I admire you, Mackenzie, and a lot of people can learn many things from you. Your personal desire to be your best is going to take you places that only you can imagine. From the young girl, the summer of her 7th grade school year, borrowing all of my books and reading every single one of them, to the 2020 Springfield High School valedictorian, I'm so proud of you. You've earned this, you've worked hard for it, and really tonight is just the beginning of amazing things that are to come for you. So I want to give you a big hug someday soon and let you know that I love you, Mackenzie, and I'm so proud of you. Congratulations as the valedictorian of the 2020 Springfield Spartans.
Carson has worked at Congress Lake Club, Five Guys, and Myers. He has been a member of National Honor Society, Bridge Building Club, Ski Club, and Indoor Track. He is a 1-year letterman in outdoor track and a 4-year letterman in soccer. Carson will be attending Bowling Green State University, where he will major in construction management. Carson is recognizing Mrs. Margaret Gannon.
Through my years of high school, I met many teachers of which I look up to. I've had coaches who pushed me the extra mile, mentors who reached out to me with no special obligation, and teachers who taught me subject I never believed I could learn. Picking one specific educator was a very difficult decision. I felt most influenced by Miss Gannon, and I believe she deserves the recognition for the things she's done for me. Growing up, English was not my subject. I've always learned the left-right brain theory, which talks about how certain people cannot grasp subjective subjects like English. I've always believed myself to be one of those people, until I met Miss Gannon. She was able to teach me the understanding of English and the importance of thinking outside the usual. When I first met her in 11th grade, I walked into yet another English class. I began to grow worried that this year was going to be another struggle, spending hours attempting to figure out what to write about and not understanding the material. Miss Gannon instantly reached out to me and began trying to understand the issues I was having with English. She began to relate my ideas and my simple thinking process to make my writing much more effective. Outside just the educational purposes, English 11 with Miss Gannon was hands down one of my favorite classes. We began every class with a question of the day. And not only as an exercise, but because Miss Gannon truly cared about our thoughts and opinions. After that, we began a meditation, which I first took as a joke, along with most people. But after a few days and school began to become more stressful, and hours of sports and working were tacked onto that 10 minutes of meditation became my saving grace and a little bit of relaxing time I had in my day. Miss Gannon had a huge influence on my life, from an educational standpoint to someone me and my friends could go visit during free periods and play jokes on. We will always come back to visit her, and she showed me how two different-minded people can get alike so well.
I'm so honored to have been chosen as your influential educator, Carson. I think so highly of you, and I was thrilled when I found out who my student is. During our time together in class last year, I quickly became aware of your patience, integrity, and kindness. The way you related to your classmates was impressive, and it warmed my heart. You do, however, have a mischievous side. I remember the time in class when I first noticed the small pictures of famous rappers that were posted all over my classroom. And every time I thought I'd found and taken down all of them, more would magically appear. You and your friends have a great sense of humor, and I loved laughing with all of you. And thank you for your occasional visits to my classroom this year. One of the aspects of teaching I most enjoy is building relationships with students. I look forward to hearing about your future accomplishments, Carson. I have great faith in you, and I expect greatness from you. I know I won't be disappointed. I'd like to leave you with a few pieces of advice. Take time to know yourself. Always show up fully. Be patient and persistent. Do what is right, not what is easy. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Thank you again for this great honor, Carson.
Marissa is excited to graduate, but is sure she is going to miss Springfield and all her friends. Throughout high school, Marissa has participated in Heromino, class council, and is a member of National Honor Society. Marissa is a 2-year letterman on the girls' soccer team. Marissa has also worked backstage for the musical for 3 years. She has also participated in the College Credit Plus program through the University of Akron for 2 years. She considers this one of the best decisions she has made. Marissa will be attending the University of Akron after graduation to pursue a degree in biomedical engineering and a minor in business. She hopes to use her degree to work as a prosthetic engineer and would like to use her business degree to someday own her own business. She is proud of her big aspirations and wants to be seen as independent and educated. Marissa is recognizing Dr. Jody Burgess.
For years, I looked forward to being included in the Top 25 ceremony. I was not only excited about the idea of participating to celebrate my hard work, but I was also excited about the ability to thank my favorite educators for how they have helped me. It wasn't difficult for me to choose Dr. Burgess, better known as Doc B, as my teacher to acknowledge, and as soon as the question arose, I knew that she was the one I wanted to thank. Throughout the years, I have had Doc B as my math teacher multiple times, and her class was always one to look forward to. She made sure to make our classes interesting every day with her bubbly and energetic personality. You haven't had a math class until you witnessed Doc B intertwining a story about her riding motorcycles into a lesson. And you haven't heard a story until you've heard the Holy Mackerel story. Besides the energy that she kept, Doc B also helped me to learn in a way that I had never had the privilege of learning before. Throughout my whole school career, I have struggled with the fact that I learn in a way that most kids don't. I can't hear a lecture or read notes and learn. A class full of notes has never gotten a point through my head, and truthfully, I would usually tune out most of the class. I have found that I learn best by doing something over and over. While some people wouldn't even need the notes to understand it, I needed to do multiple problems to fully understand a difficult topic, and Doc B understood this. Walking into Doc B's class was like a breath of fresh air every day. She took into account the idea that each kid learns differently. She never pressured the idea of answering in class, got through notes quickly, and was always willing to answer as many questions as kids had. And I don't know if it was all completely intentional, but it gave me the recognition that I wasn't wrong, that I couldn't retain information the way other kids did. I felt like I was finally being seen and understood. This all sounds so dramatic, but the truth is that I have never had a teacher take the time to cater to this idea. I will always see Doc B as one of the most influential teachers that I will ever have. I hope to find more teachers like her in my future education endeavors, and I am entirely grateful that I had the ability to thank her for all of that she has done for me. Holy mackerel, Doc B is great.
Congratulations to the top 25 of the class of 2020. Good job. And also congratulations to the influential educators that are here. Yay us. Thank you to the school board members and the administration for giving me the opportunity to work with these kids. I love my job. It's a little bit different now, of course, but look at what we're doing. We're learning new things every day, and we're doing it well. Go us. We've become the victors, not the victims of this virus. I want to thank Marissa W. And I call her Marissa W. because in 7th grade, I wasn't quite sure how to say her last name. So now she's Marissa W. But I want to thank Marissa W. for today, for lots of reasons, but the main one because this is the best I've looked since March 13th. Check it out. Speaking of Marissa W., thank you for this great honor. And I remember her in 7th grade math being very quiet and very shy. She wouldn't even tell me how to pronounce her last name. Then I remember her last year in pre-calculus. She wasn't so quiet and she wasn't so shy, but she was always a hard worker. She has decided to attend the University of Akron next year so that she can get a degree in biomedical engineering with a minor in business, so that when she grows up, she can become a prosthetic engineer. I had to practice that one. But I'm sure she'll be successful because everything she does, she's successful at. She is wonderful. Thank you, Marissa W., for this great honor.
Thank you, everyone, for spending the evening with us. Students, I'm so proud of you. You are our top 25, and you're going to go out and do great things, building relationships as you go and impacting your world. Parents, thank you so much for sending your students to Springfield Local Schools and letting us get a chance to know them and be a small part of what great young men and women they are and will become. Educators, thank you so much for building relationships. I know it's what you do best. Continue to do this as we continue to educate the young people of Springfield Local. Good night, everyone.